Welcome to Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and a look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I'm your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. Hey, I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay.
Why didn't you and anyone else I know tell me that I don't look good with long hair? I had long hair for a long time, and you didn't tell me anything about it.
I think you look beautiful always. But
Oh my God, that's what they all say.
I do love you in a short hair, though.
That's what everyone says. Everyone says what you just said verbatim. They say, oh, yeah, I think you're beautiful anyway, but this is definitely better. I've had this short haircut multiple times in our friendship, our long storied friendship. I've cut it short and it's grown out, and I've cut it short and it's grown out. I just feel like I need to start holding the people like you accountable and to pull me aside and say, hey, babe, your hair's getting a little long. This is on purpose? You know? Yeah. It's not going to hurt my feelings.
You now as like that is the perfect. I feel like it's evolved over time, though. But now I can't picture you with long hair again.
I caught like a picture of me, like the memories popped up on my husband's phone, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, what? That's like what I looked like, little dump, just like a like a tall dump.
A tall dump. That's how I always, when I describe, I'm like, do you guys know Cassandra? And they're like, and I go, she's like a tall dump.
Yeah, the vibe is kind of like a tall dump.
And then they go, oh, yeah, Cassandra. Oh, yeah, of course we know. Yeah.
Like it was a lot. I'm looking at other pictures that are up in my mother-in-law's office, which is where I am right now. And like, yeah, I got like this long hair, and like there's one that looks pretty, and then the other three, it's just giving dump. I think I can do like a shoulder length, like a lob, is okay. But as soon as it starts to creep onto like my swang and tatties, it's too long, and it's giving dump.
I'm trying to grow mermaid length hair, which is where your hair can cover your boobs unassisted. However, my hair's growing at a pace, if this is a math equation, my hair is growing at X. However, my boobs are sagging at Y. What is the velocity that the hair growth needs to match the sagging of the boobs? Like, I need a mathematician. You'll win a Nobel Prize if you can.
Hey, babe, it's like the tortoise and the hare, like one, you think that the tortoise, or you think that the hare is going to win the race, but then the tortoise,
the tortoises are just
comes in.
I looked in the mirror the other day, and I was just like,
you should get some extensions. I mean, like if you really want to beat it.
Yeah, I definitely, it's big hair summer, as I've declared, and but the higher the hair, the shorter it can be.
Oh, that's true.
Real dilemma.
I would like to invest in wigs. I think if we could get like a sponsor for like a wig place, I'd love to have that option. Yeah, like it just is an option because again, like I just said, I'm looking at 4 pictures of myself with long hair. There is one where I did my hair, period. And so it looks good. And so I think if I had like the long brown, like chocolate brown option, it would be fun to bust out. And I kind of feel like wearing wigs as, someone who doesn't need to. You just kind of have to, it's like wearing heels. You start wearing heels around people and go, oh, that's weird. Do you wear heels now? And it's like, yeah, I do. And then they go, okay. That's what I think about, like if I was to just wear a wig one night, like I think people would at first be like, weird. Why? And then they would accept it. And then they'd be like, okay, cool. That's kind of cool. Yep. Maybe I should do that too.
Yep. That's how it works. That's how it works. I literally, the photos I've had cheap, costume sketch character wigs, but when I see myself in them, I'm like, God damn, I look great.
Yeah.
So I wish I could make that leap. I hope. Yeah. I wish I could make that leap. So
I have a long, like kind of stringy blonde one that I've worn for characters before. And it's like, I think if I would have but it's a costume wig, so it's not one to be worn out. it looks good in pictures and
yeah,
good enough on stage, but like not to be worn out. But like I bet it wouldn't hurt just to have one. Give me big hair summer blonde, like Farrah Fawcett wig.
Oh, I'm talking like Bo Derek. I'm talking
Yes.
the French girl, I think is Bridget Bardot, you know.
Oh yeah.
I want big.
Like just got off of a surfboard, come have champagne with me on the private beach of the house that I'm staying at from the rich man who's off on business, and I just get to live here by myself and have parties, and maybe later we can try some ecstasy together. Like that blonde.
Yes.
That one. That's the one. I would love to have access to just a wig, just to do that.
There's an old Chappelle show sketch. I know Chappelle's what he is now, but back then there was a sketch where a woman with big boobs, and she's like, the world's so great and nice. And then they, it's like well, now your boobs are away and see how people treat you. And I feel like, and of course people treat her very differently. They don't help her move stuff. They don't do nice things for her. It's the joke. But which I'm like, ooh, people have helped me move stuff a lot. Oh, some tatties.
Hey, man.
But I feel like us right now, we're living in the fantasy of the small boob character. But if we had the wigs, we would be the big boob in the sketch, the big boob girl, Anyway, I know that's hard to track, listeners, but if I draw it out on a timeline, you would really understand. So again,
it makes sense.
X velocity, and then Y is acceleration. And those Cass, why are you trash?
Girl, I have a nail salon that I love. I love it. I think I've even promoted it on this podcast before. Yeah. But I am a nuisance every time I'm there. First of all, I never know what I want until I'm there. And I make that the nail lady's problem 100%. She says, do you know what color you want? I'm like, ooh. I don't know. Because, I get gels. I have to commit to a color for at least the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, but that's like the least of my problems. I, for some reason, every time I'm there, always have some sort of medical emergency like that happens to me. I've had major coughing fits in there. Like they always will give me water, like they give everyone water.
Yeah.
And they give you water and like a heated kind of bean bag over your shoulders. Oh. It smells like oatmeal. It's so nice.
That's great.
And I'm always just having like a major like choking breakdown all the time. And this is in the time of, COVID and post. And I'm like, I can't explain what's happening to me. And then the nail people are like, is it us? Like, are we blowing too much dust in your face? Like, it's like, and then I'm like, I want to almost be like, yes, it's you. What it's always just me. Like for some reason I forget how to drink water there and it goes down the wrong pipe. And then I cough for 15, 16 minutes straight and I keep getting up to wash my hands because I'm like, what do you want me to do? I got to cover my hand. I don't know. And so then this last time, well, no, it's not even this last time. It's probably happened more than once. I don't know. I should, why am I talking about this on a podcast? I don't know, but I had diarrhea. And it just, I thought to I had a coughing fit and diarrhea.
Oh,
this last time that I was
combo.
There. Yeah, I was like, which is the bad combo too, because if you cough too hard, you know what happens.
Yeah.
I don't mean that to say like like because it's happened to you. I'm just saying. Like,
but it has.
It just was like so bad, and I was like, I really needed my nails done. I've got a wedding this weekend. Yeah. Like, I just was like, can I please get? And they're always so polite to me and nice to me, and so I give them positive reviews on everything. I promote them on the podcast. I tell everyone about them. I have to make up for the fact that I am on unreal behavior there every time I go in. It's so embarrassing. Why are you trash?
So mine's going to be on a beauty related issue as well. And I have a lash salon that I am ride or die for. Miss
Oh, that's the
Kauai,
best. Yeah.
Miss Kauai in Glendale. I ride or die. However, I needed an appointment prior to a festival last summer. Couldn't get in at my Glendale location where I love them. So I went to, they have multiple locations. I'm so proud of them. So I go to another location early Saturday morning. So I come in, I'm new, they don't know me. The other place knows me. And so I'm like, hey, here's this is what I want. This, I got it filled here, or put in here, da, da, da. Okay. So when you get your eyelash extensions, they essentially tape your eyelids shut. So you're not open-eyed ever, the whole process.
You need trust.
You need trust. You're meditating. However, I went to adjust to like shimmy up on the table after I'd been taped.
Mm-hmm.
And I whack the girl like in her face, like with my hand as I'm shifting, like my elbow kind of like I'm shifting back. I whack her. And so I'm again, eyes closed. I'm profusely apologizing. I'm just, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So we've already started our trust on a rocky foundation.
Mm-hmm,
Then after she's done, I'm like, can I use the restroom before I come out and pay? Absolutely. Absolutely. I use the restroom there. Nothing, I wasn't sick, nothing unusual, just a quick, quick pee. That toilet started overflooding. So I'm like, oh my God, is there paper? Is there anything? No, there's nothing there's no plunger in that. There's nothing I can do to stop this water from rising. And it is, I'm not a religious person. I am pray any God that will take me. I am the spirits, the moon, Allah, who will take me and help stop this water from going over the toilet and down. And it didn't. And so I had to come out and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry that the toilet appears to be over, and they're like, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. Of course, we're professionals. You are a nightmare and should never come back, which they would never say, but that was the body language. And I completely overflooded it. And I was like, I can never come to this location again. It's probably on my file. Like they wouldn't allow me back. Like I'm a nightmare. Toilets. Oh, hits nail tech, clogs toilets. Bad, bad. So
yeah. We can't take us anywhere, man.
Nope. But where, the guy in our first story also shouldn't be taken anywhere.
I think it's the woman.
Yeah, but the man is the one that left.
You are taking her side on this?
I'm taking his side. I'm his side. Yeah, I'm taking her side. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It's confusing. Again, we've already told math is not my strong suit.
Our first story, which I think that you and I have a big disagreement on already, comes to us from malaysia.yahoo.com. A man is sued after leaving his blind date and her 23 relatives at a restaurant.
Yes. A man and I staked my claim and I won't back down. That's one thing I know about me.
I love the commitment.
I will double down when wrong.
Okay, so you're wrong.
Nope. I'm just saying that's just a thing I do, but I'm not wrong here. Of course not.
Man in China has ended up in a legal battle after walking out on a blind date who expected him to pay for her and her 23 of her relatives. They were put together by a matchmaker. They met at a popular restaurant, and when he showed up, there was 23 other relatives there.
The restaurant staff later informed him that the woman's family had ordered a significant amounts of expensive cigarettes and premium alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, his bill at the end of it was what comes out to $2,812 American. And he, of course, was like, I'm out. He decided to leave. He was like, you guys pay for this. I'm out. And she did with her relatives. They did settle the bill, but she was still demanding. He was like, you left. You should at least be paying for half of this.
And here's the thing. Is that how you want to treat your future in-laws?
You think that this went past one date? This is the hill you're going to die on today, Erica? Already?
I'm just saying
got here.
That's a terrible, terrible start to a relationship.
It wasn't an arranged marriage. It was a blind date. So he ends up he ends up fed up, as I am right now, and says, all right, I'll give you a fraction of the cost, so he was like, I'm going to give you $562 of, American, and you guys can pay the rest. And this woman was like, nope, I'm going to sue you.
Honestly, I love a frivolous lawsuit.
It's true, you do. You're very American in that way.
Yeah. The court cited in his favor, stating that he should only cover the cost of his own and her meal, which is approximately $197.
So he actually got out like paying less because of the law. I mean, probably not with lawyers, but like he ended up paying for less of the bill.
I hope he represented himself. And anytime you represent yourself in court, for some reason, I know this isn't right, but for some reason, anytime you represent your court, I think you should mandatory have to speak like a good old Southern lawyer, no matter where you are.
Even in Malaysia?
Even in Malaysia, anywhere in the world, you have to go, Your Honor, you see, I had a blind date set up by a matchmaker.
And I do believe I was not being set up with her and 23 of her family members, Your Honor.
Members.
No
matter where you are in the world, if you choose to represent yourself, new universal law, you have to speak like a good old Southern lawyer.
I think that this, you also came up with the new catchphrase for the podcast, which is, I know this is wrong, but...
Well, speaking of, I know this is wrong, but let's get into our second story from Mashable.com. Survey says 1 in 8 men under 35 have brought condoms to a funeral just in case.
I'm gonna poke holes through this and say 1 in 8 men under 35 admit to have brought because I have a feeling that number might be higher, and I'm not even gonna hate on it.
I think you should always be prepared. Safe sex is the only sex. Also, 1 in 4 millennials, our lot, brought protection to their high school reunion, which was not nearly as morbid. But I'm just saying, if you're going to your high school reunion, you're not getting laid in life.
Girl.
If at this age you're choosing to go to a reunion when you can just look up everyone on Instagram.
I think that the concept of a reunion is like nice that it exists, but you couldn't pay me to go to mine. I mean, I think I've told the story on the podcast before about how I almost accidentally ended up at mine.
Don't remember this.
I was going to see a friend's play in North Hollywood, and the person I was with at the time and I were like, let's grab a drink prior to this play, which, by the way, the play was the play was Romeo and Juliet, but everybody's got to have their own take on these old Shakespeare plays, otherwise why would you put them up, I guess. And this was like the Holocaust version of Romeo and Juliet, where I'm really burying the lead with this story. I don't want to do that. It's like the Montagues.
I'm gonna need a second.
The Montagues and the Capulets are the Nazis and the Jews.
No,
girl.
No.
My new catchphrase.
I cannot accept this information into my knowledge bank.
If I'm lying, I'm dying, babe. It was real. It happened. And yeah, I think Romeo was they were like the Nazis, and then the Capulet, or then Juliet was a Jewish girl. And yeah, it was a vibe. Anyways, that's not the point of the story, if you can believe it.
No.
It's that
but it'll never not be with me.
It's really hard to tell the story without just being like, by the way. Yeah, we need to get a drink. We need to get a drink. And there was like, we were in North Hollywood, and I was like, well, we could go to El Tejano because they've got huge margaritas. But then there's also like just something closer down the street. It's the Bullet. It's like a gay bar, and I'm pretty sure that their drinks are cheaper. And so we were like, giant margaritas or the Bullet that we've never been to. The Bullet looks kind of shady. But El Tejano, we have to get back in the car. So we ended up walking to the Bullet. And then I found out later from Instagram and also from a friend who texted me who was like on Facebook in the reunion group. He's like, oh, I forgot to tell you the reunion was tonight. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I didn't really care to know. And then I looked on Instagram. It was at El Tejano. So if we would have been like, the Bullet looks too shady, let's just get in the car and go to El Tejano, I would have inadvertently walked in on my own high school reunion that I wasn't like not invited to, but like because I wasn't on Facebook, I didn't know. I would have walked in and seen the banner that says, welcome John Burroughs class of 2008. And I would have been like, we have to get out of here.
Your sliding glass door moment.
I mean, truly, ships passing in the night in my high school reunion. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Romeo and Juliet.
No, we're talking about 1 in 8 men bringing condoms to a funeral.
Yes, of course. We're talking about safe sex. So Trojan's State of Sex Survey revealed some encouraging statistics that 77% of adults between 18 and 35 believe that men and women should be equally responsible when providing protection, which is good because I think there was a while where a woman having her own condoms was like a stigma when it's like, okay, well, we wouldn't have to do that if men always had them. So honestly, it should have been 8 out of 8 men having a condom at the funeral, if we're being fair.
So 78% of men would rather be responsible for wearing a condom than make their partner feel pressured to take birth control.
That's 52%. Nice too.
That is nice. 52% of women would rather their partners wear condoms than take the pill. 65% of respondents bring protection on the first date. Optimistic. 63%, however, say that they're most likely to ask a potential sexual partner about protection once in bed. Nearly all, 91%, 9 out of 10, say that they're generally more likely to use a condom to prevent pregnancy and STIs given the current state of affairs. What could they be referring to?
That it takes you to a link of the Roe v. Wade being overturned, by the way, in case you were wondering where Mashable takes you. It's, I mean, as long as there's 1,000 reasons, first of all, to not want an STI. There's a lot of reasons, but there's plenty of other reasons besides the fact that abortion care is going away to not want to have a child right now. But I think that's funny. It's not funny. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think.
Well, speaking of going away, let's talk about one of our favorite subjects, which is travel.
From Chiron.com, Cron.com.
Crone.
Oh, sure. Ridiculous. Frontier admits to controversial carry-on bag policy.
Yes, they finally admitted that their carry-on bag policy is not consistently applied.
Now, have you ever been charged for your carry-on Frontier Airlines?
Yeah,
because I don't fly the Frontier Airlines. I've
signed up to have a carry. Okay, it's beneath you. Okay,
it is.
That's fair.
I'm being honest.
That's fair. Yes, I have, but it's because I signed up on the website to pay for carry-on. I've never been charged for one once received to the airport. I fought a gate agent on it.
Sure.
For my underseat item and showed how much space was in the, allotted thing and made a real display of it. Like, do you see? This is air. And I can't believe I got to be on that flight. This was pre-COVID before everyone lost their minds, though. So who knows?
By the way, Frontier Airlines can be beneath all of you by going to southwest.com and typing in your travel plans. Just saying.
Go to Allegiant. I would say Allegiant over Frontier Airlines.
Pretty much anywhere probably is okay if you don't, just do a little bit more research. That low number, as we learn in this story, it's not what you see is what you get with your ticket price on Frontier Airlines. It was started with a TikTok. I mean, this has been going on with lots of TikToks, but this story is about a specific TikToker who was saying that the gate agents were attempting to make her and another passenger pay $99 for their personal items, saying that their bags wouldn't fit under the seat. And she did the same thing Erica did, where she was like, you see how much it's going to fit under the seat? But, these gate agents were trying as much as they can. I actually saw on another TikTok that Frontier CEO, they've basically put a bounty on how many people they can get to check bags. So if you're the gate
offer
agent,
commission. Yep.
Yeah, it's like $10 per bag that you can get someone to check instead of bring on the flight. So these people are motivated. If you ever want to get out of it, slip that person a $10 bill.
Truly, and just like, let's not. Yeah.
What are they paying you for this? I'll pay you double because it's still going to be cheaper than checking my laptop bag.
Yeah. Their CEO said that their carry-on bag size requirement was not consistently applied, which was unfair to the majority of customers who do pay for the carry-on bags in advance and comply with the requirements. But no. The person in our article was like, oh, fine, I'll start an online petition and ask them to stop overcharging for these bag fees.
Hilarious. I mean, who knows if businesses can truly be affected by a petition, but it's hard to deny one that has over 500 signatures asking Frontier to stop overcharging for bag fees.
So Frontier, again, they are the ones that have the Go Wild Pass, which is, I believe it's $2,000 for the year, but right now they have a $199 for starting in like mid-fall for about 6 months, where essentially you pay this flat fee of like $200. Then you can book a local flight within 2 days, I believe, and an international flight within 10 days, and essentially just pay the taxes. So it's a penny and then you pay the taxes. So where a flight to, Puerto Rico, or I'm sorry, not Puerto Rico, like to Cabo might cost you a penny here, and then it might be $45 in fees, or, and that's all you would have to pay. Anyway, it's called Go Wild Pass. But
at what cost though? I mean, yes, of $200, but of also like having to be on a Frontier flight where they make you check your bags and where you can only plan a vacation 2 days in advance.
Well, I mean, I think it's for people that are flexible, and at least the international gives you a little bit more time to plan it out. But yeah, I don't know. The problem is Frontier doesn't leave from Burbank or LAX for me. They leave out of Ontario or Santa Ana. They used to be in LA. So it's hard to justify. And almost everything out of California does a connection in Vegas and then outward. So it just doesn't make sense for me to get it. Because I was like, oh, that would be perfect for, me to go to Oklahoma. But now they don't even fly into Oklahoma City. They fly into Tulsa. Fucking useless. Frontier.
Their hub is in Denver, so my family out there frequently goes, oh, maybe we'll fly Frontier to see you if we go to San Diego or something like that. And I'm like, don't do it. It's not worth it. They're the Spirit Airlines of airlines.
Hey, Cass, I'm all worked up. Let's take a quick break.
Erica, do you have any concerts coming up?
Always. I'm a festival girly, I have to get the VIP though, because I cannot go without an air-conditioned bathroom.
Okay, well, my sweet angel, planning for faster and efficient hydration is also essential for festivals. And Liquid IV has you covered while you prep before, power through that headliner, and recover after the weekend.
Hey, now don't count yourself out while you're drunk poolside all summer, Cass. Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water and with 3 times the electrolytes than traditional sports drinks.
I mean, we really have no excuses. Liquid IV is actually standard in my purse. It goes phone, wallet, keys, Liquid IV.
And with flavors like lemon lime, pastique, that's French for watermelon, and my favorite, strawberry lemonade, staying hydrated is easy peasy.
Mama, I'm talking B3, I'm talking B5, I'm talking B6, and I'm screaming from the rooftops, B12.
They've got all the Bs.
And there's a little bit of vitamin C in there too, just for kicks.
Oh, she's made from premium ingredients and is free from gluten, dairy, and soy.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, I'm vegan now. I don't know if I've talked about that yet.
We know. Okay. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
That's 20% off of anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code TRASHY at liquidiv.com.
Honestly, we're so trashy, we're hydrated.
Wet trash.
And we're back.
That was a good promo code.
Yes. Use trashy.
You commit to it.
Use promo code trashy.
There you go.
For everything. Even if we don't have them lined up as a sponsor, just try it.
Yeah, see what happens. Honestly, you might be helping us.
This next thing is from indy.gov. That's in as in Nancy, D as in dog.gov. And this is some fun facts about North Dakota.
If there is such a thing.
Well, it's actually North Dakota trying to be hella shady, and I love it. So, North Dakota has attempted 3 times in their legislature to drop North from the state and just become Dakota, leaving South Dakota to be a second-class state, essentially.
Kind of like Virginia v. West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. And truly, I think that's just kind of a power move, and I appreciate it.
They've been trying to have a couple different brandings because, first of all, Dakota sounds like such a bitchy state name. I don't know why.
Well, it's named after the tribe, I believe.
Oh, it's not named after some mean
Melanie Griffin's daughter.
toddler.
No.
Oh, yeah. I love Dakota Johnson though.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her. I was just thinking of like some mean like 4-year-old named Dakota who had like more expensive clothes than the other kids.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I love Dakota Johnson. Okay, fine. They have other things that they've wanted to be known for. They want to be known as the Flickertail State.
Nope, never going to call you that.
Yeah, there's these ground squirrels that are abundant in North Dakota, and the animals like flick or they jerk their tail in a characteristic manner just before running into their burrow. Thus, in 1953, the Legislative Assembly defeated the Senate bill number 134. Oh, wait, no, they didn't want to be known as the Flickertail State. My bad. I was reading that wrong. They had to vote in 1953 to prevent themselves from being known as the Flickertail State.
And honestly, there was a lot happening in 1953, but I think that this was pretty important.
There was also in the 1960s and 70s to promote tourism. They wanted to be known as Rough Rider State.
That's what I call bringing a condom to a funeral.
No,
you
know what? I'm not going to read anything about it. I'm just let it go from there. Let's go on to our next story. If you want to know why, other than what Erica just said, why the North Dakota might be the Rough Rider State, that's your business.
Links to all stories are always in our show notes, so check it out yourself.
From news.sky.com, girl, we're back. The World Custard Pie Throwing Championships. They took place in Southern England.
Oh, yeah, we got to make it out next year. So
it's funny.
This year's event saw 120 competitors in 30 teams take part in fancy dress, with one coming as far away from Japan for the chance to chuck a foil plate of flour and water mix, not actual pies, at their opponents 6 feet away. So
I took this from the website about the World Custard Pie Championship, and it's been 50 years now. It attracts people from across the globe. They apparently guard the recipe very closely, but I mean, like Erica just said, it's flour and water. But yeah, they just they chuck pies at each other's face, and it started in 1967. The custard pie in general can be linked back to the early 19th century, but I mean, this is like the slapstick Charlie Chaplin pie in your face kind of things, and this is like the Fight Club for that.
Can I just take beef with said article? So it gives us the history of custard pies, and they date back to, the early 19th century. It just says it was a fortunate discovery by the wife of Alfred Bird. No wife name.
God, what is this, the Bible?
Come on. Anyway, back to the pie sticking. So the organizers uncovered a mystery behind statistics, the ingredients, and the makeup of custard pie, which the clowns and slapstick comics of Charlie Chaplin's era used. The custard itself is unsuitable for throwing. It ricochets. So many suggestions were made and rejected. And finally, after detailed research from the British Museum, Pinewood Studios, and Letters to Hollywood, the answer was found at Toville Maidstone. Richard Hearn, Mr. Pastry, was kind enough to let us in on the secret and revealed for the first public demonstration of custard pie throwing staged on June 24th, 1967. And the World Custard Pie Championships were born. A little history lesson for you.
I love it. Have you ever had a pie to the face?
I think I've had the whipped cream to the face.
Yeah,
that was an assembly or pep rally, or I got to put a pie in a teacher's face. That's what's feeling. That's the memory that I'm trying to grab for. Is I think I put a pie in a teacher or principal's face, and it, got a huge laugh from the crowd. I've always been a crowd pleaser.
Of course,
Funny man,
absolutely.
I mean, I was, the athlete, scholar, I was just all around delight, all around delight.
Speaking of all around delights, from theathletic.com, let's talk about who Baby Gronk is.
Have you heard of this?
No, I actually really haven't. I'm going to look it up right now.
So Baby Gronk is a 10-year-old who's supposed to be the next big thing in college football. He has about 315,000 followers on Instagram, but his dad is not parenting him. He's just like, he trains, he eats. I take him around all these colleges. Like, you can't start recruiting until you're in the 7th grade, and he's 10.
Yeah, it says Baby Gronk, football celebrity, in parentheses, ran by parent. Mm-hmm. Subscribe to my YouTube. What if he doesn't want to play football?
That's all I can think about. So I just wanted to watch Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail again the other night. One of my favorite movies from childhood. One of my favorite scenes. It's so silly and throwaway, but it's a king with his son, and he's standing at a window, and the king says to the child, "One day, all of this will be yours." And the weakly prince just goes, "The curtains." To me, funniest joke in the world. But I think of this dad being like, "I didn't get to play at San Jose State. My baby will. The curtains will be his one day." That's what it, I mean.
This is like sick. The stage mom of athletics.
Absolutely. So this little kid, his name is Madden. He's posing with celebrities, partaking in photo shoots at Power 5 football programs. He's being courted out to the universities, seeing if they're seriously interested in recruiting him. This just bums me
already.
Out.
You can't even know a 10-year-old. You have no idea what they're going to look like when they're in high school. He hasn't even through puberty yet.
He works out. He has like a food regimen. Like,
you can't do this to a child.
You cannot. This is disordered eating blueprints for him, for his life. But he says that everything we do for the father says everything we do for content is on purpose. Everything is planned out. Just being a creator and being an influencer. The internet and the real life of his trainings are kept separate. So he's like, we do some of this, but he's a kid, you psycho. So he says that he has a verbal offer from a football program already, but you can't sign an intent. You can't do an intent when you get recruited to D1 or any athletics. Like, you sign an intention document where it's basically like, I commit to play at this place, when you're in high school or whatever. But he has a verbal offer from Arizona. And he can't commit until you're in the 7th grade is is disgusting.
Why can you commit in the 7th grade?
Why? You know what I wanted to be when I was in the 7th grade?
What?
I don't fucking remember because I was 13 and it didn't happen. It doesn't matter. Like, kids change their mind. I hope this kid gets really into physics or something, or chemistry or theater or FFA. I hope he gets to be 12 and is like, I don't want to play football. Oh, the CTE? Not worth it, Dad.
Maybe he'll grow up to be a famous writer and create a really big show and then go back and become a restaurateur for a restaurant that your show turned into a global sensation rather than just a local sensation.
That feels oddly specific wish for him.
Well, from CBSNews.com, Casa Bonita is reopening because Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park fame have spent $40 million on restoring it.
Yes. So South Park is set in Colorado. Yes. And Casa Bonita has 2 locations, one in Denver and one in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You're kidding. So did you go as a kid? Because I went.
I grew up going to Casa Bonita. We didn't have the divers. We didn't have the divers, but we had other cool stuff. But yeah, and Tulsa is like 3 hours away from where I grew up. So it was a big deal and a very intentional trip.
Oh my, I can't believe you and I are so different in so many ways, especially with how we've grown up. But this might be the thing that really connected us and we didn't even know it.
We're just raising the little flag for more enchiladas.
My kindergarten year, however old you are in kindergarten,
5.
I went Okay. Yeah. My kindergarten years. I had a birthday party at Casa Bonita and we invited every girl in the class, and my mom's friend made all of us custom princess hats.
Shut
like
up.
cones.
Oh my God. Dream.
It was very, very major. Casa Bonita, of course, I remember the sopapillas. I think the guy I was dating in high school liked South Park. And so when I went to Colorado with him, he was like, we should go to Casa Bonita. And I was like, okay, I heard the food wasn't that good. And I was right. But it was like this big blast from the past because there's things I will say that South Park, they don't get their Colorado references wrong. It's a fake show, of course, but when they do make specific references to things in Colorado, such as Casa Bonita, or they talk about like Jake Jab, the American Furniture Warehouse guy, like whatever, the obsession with John Elway, that is all very much based in fact and in truth. And so I remember going with this ex of mine and him being very pleased to see that everything that was promised in that episode was there in crumbling flesh.
Yes. So Casa Bonita, Mexican restaurant, you go through and you order your food. And then once you sit down, for those of you who don't know and haven't seen the episodes or have never been to a Casa Bonita, you have a flag at your table. And when you are like, I'd like another taco, you raise that little flag and the waitress or waiter will come and provide another taco, and then you lower the flag. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's a bright pink castle. Is the one in Tulsa pink also?
I cannot remember.
Oh, but, it must not have been. You wouldn't forget such a thing. It's a pink castle with a big fountain out front, and you had to like stand like in a cave line to pay for your food and get your food. And then, yes, they had the flags on the tables, the sopapilla, which I don't think is an actual like Mexican dish.
Wait, it was pink. It was pink in Tulsa. Good. So, yep.
It's basically a sopapilla is just like a fried envelope of dough. You just rip off the top and you pour honey into it. Delicious.
With cinnamon and sugar on top.
Yes.
And Casa Bonita translates to pretty house.
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah. I just pulled up an article from January of 2023. Which was Casa Bonita closes for the final time 12 years ago today. But there was a prank in 2018 that convinced some social media that the restaurant would reopen, referencing a 2008 Tulsa World headline called Fun-Filled Casa Bonita to Reopen, but it was just a prank. So sad. But ours was very decorative and ornate, and we had waterfalls, but we did not have the cliff divers.
Yeah, so when I was reading this about like how they've done this renovation, it's something about how they still have all the cliff divers and everything, but now they've made it like safe. And I'm like, was it not safe?
No,
for these cliff divers before? That blown my mind. It's such a weird and specific thing too for like someone. I guess there's outdoor people in Colorado, but like,
imagine that's all Colorado
diver.
Is, right?
Yeah, like, I know. I wouldn't imagine being a cliff diver in Colorado. I'd be like, oh, I'm a cliff diver. How am I going to make money off of this profession? I should probably move somewhere with cliffs. No, I'll just work at Casa Bonita. Like, I feel like these were probably just random, like, diver teenagers or something. I don't know, whatever. It's just crazy to me that it wasn't safe before. But there is now 100,000 people who have signed up for reservations, and they have like a reopening. They've got a fancy chef and like 110 employees. So it's going to be probably a rockin' place for a while. I'd love to go.
Yeah, I've been trying to get on the reservation list. And
if you get on there, you better make one for me to go too.
Obviously.
We can stay with my family. We can go.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for poor little Oklahoma though, because it's a Colorado-based show, so I don't see them pouring $40 million into the Tulsa location.
I don't either. But here's the thing: I always say, never mourn the Hindenburg. It was full of Nazis, and that's how I feel about Oklahoma not getting a Casa Bonita. Not that they're Nazis, but sometimes if you legislate in a certain way, you don't deserve nice things. That's all I'll say.
Okay, Erica.
Yes.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. For what?
Great. Well, I don't know. I was thinking that maybe it was time for the dumpster fire of the week.
Oh my God. So y'all, this isn't politics.
No. Policy.
Not policy, but one of the biggest news items of the world is that President Trump was indicted for espionage and mishandling classified documents. And we're not here to talk about the politics. We're not here to do any of that. We're here to talk about how trashy the bathroom where these documents were recovered is.
I mean, honestly, like, she's right. We're not going to, you know what? Literally, I think you can figure out where we stand politically. And even if you can't, don't worry about it. Leave us alone. We're not talking about it. You can't expect a former president to start stashing a bunch of classified documents into a bathroom and us not at least talk about it a little bit.
Yes, politically, we're the Whig party, as we discussed earlier. You know, we're the Whigs. Dude, it's they had designers for this Washington Post article come in. Also, an epidemiologist weigh in on the light fixture in the bathroom. So it was recovered from Mar-a-Lago, Trump's Florida home. And I read a tweet from someone that has lived in Palm Beach. And they're like, listen, this isn't like a country club like you may be used to where it's like set off. It's like on the road. It's like very easy to access. It's not like stored away on lands or like a long driveway or anything. It's very close to people.
It's a golf course, right?
Yeah, it's like a resort and golf course and yeah. But yeah.
Well, so he's got, I mean, and by the way, these classified documents were everywhere. They weren't just in this bathroom, but we just need to talk about bathrooms. So, you know, I don't tend to read on the toilet anything other than my phone, but I do always think that it's kind of cheeky when people have like books or some sort of literature in their guest bathrooms, as if to say, if you'd like to poop here, you're welcome to read this. And so that's my first impression is, oh, this has plenty of things like going to take a shit here. How about a nuclear code to keep you busy?
Did you ever read the Uncle John's bathroom reader?
No.
It was a series of books. I think they started publishing them in the 80s, but it was like a fat book, you know, 1,200 pages or something. But it was trivia and essays on just like random topics or like fun facts or here's the thing, but it was for the bathroom. So it'd be really interesting things to read while you're that was a common before our phones. That was a big thing. We used to have books in the bathroom a lot, but yeah, anyway.
And I learned this on Mythbusters that unfortunately poop particles go everywhere every time that you flush your toilet.
Even closing the lid.
Yeah, babe. They did a whole thing about like, you know, where's the safest place to put your toothbrush in your bathroom? And the answer was outside of the bathroom.
Yeah. You know
what? Sometimes your poop particles even go into your like hallway.
Oh, no.
Depending on what kind of deuce you're taking.
No.
It's best to close the lid, of course, you know, or cover your toothbrush. But so I mean, you don't see poop particles. It's not like these classified documents are covered in shit, but we know that we know that they are.
Yeah,
which is too bad.
Let's take a moment to describe the bathroom.
Yeah.
So there's photos of the scene where these documents were uncovered. Side note, I'm sorry. I know we said we're going to describe the bathroom, but did you catch that they might have been clued into this from a Kid Rock interview?
Oh, God, no.
Kid Rock gave an interview sometime last year where he was talking about hanging out with Trump. And he was like, yeah, he was just showing me stuff. And I'm like, should I be seeing these maps? And they think that's what led. Yeah, truly. It's like anyway.
These bunch of dickheads with their huge egos. I'm sorry, I know we're not doing policy, but I saw a metaphor for this that really like kind of summed it up in a nice way. And it was like, imagine that someone went to a Ferrari dealership and stole a Ferrari. And for some reason, the cops like didn't go and track them down for like until like 4 or 5 days later. And the Ferrari is sitting there in their driveway. And they go up to this person's front door and they go, hey, we're going to need you to return that Ferrari that you stole. And then the person goes, I didn't steal a Ferrari. And they go, are you sure there's a Ferrari in your driveway? And that person goes, nope, I didn't steal a Ferrari. I suppose I could give you this hubcap That's all I have of Ferrari. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I do not have a Ferrari. And then the next day, that person goes, hey, everyone, come and drive my stolen Ferrari all around town. And then they drive around all around town with loud music, driving in a Ferrari. And the cops come back and go, dude, we saw you. We need that Ferrari. And the person still goes, yeah, I do not have a Ferrari. That's kind of like what happened, or like what is happening is that someone, he has them, but he's telling the law that he doesn't, but then he's also telling everybody else that he does, because he really wants people to know that he has it. I really need people to know I have classified documents, that I'm important. No, FBI, I don't, but you guys, I do. That's his vibe. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, sorry. This isn't policy. Let's talk about this bathroom.
Yeah. So a photo of the scene included in the indictment included stacks of boxes under a very large crystal chandelier that was somehow simultaneously decadent and drab. The light fixture. Chandelier. I do too, but like I'm trashy.
Talk shit. I'm trashy. Yeah, I mean, exactly. We're trashy. Of course, we like a chandelier in a bathroom.
The light fixture equivalent of Miss Havisham, and my favorite detail, plastic curtain rod with a curtain, plastic rod for the shower curtain. Like,
well, they do say like the way you stay rich is to not spend money. So why not just go down to Target and grab that $3 plastic curtain rod?
So this obviously brought a lot of questions about the design choices and hygiene. So the first question that people wanted to ask is, are toilet chandeliers even a thing? So they reached out to an interior designer, Lacey Keller, and she owns a design firm in Portland, Oregon. And she said chandeliers in bathrooms aren't that unusual. She's had several installed for high-end clients. When choosing a style, she says she takes into account several factors, including whether the fixture can resist heat and moisture. They asked her, would you ever install something like this chandelier? And she said, I wouldn't put that chandelier in any bathroom. It's far too big, elaborate, and hangs too low. Anyone trying to use the shower would immediately hit their head. It's just overwhelming, she says. It's an example of what not to do.
Also, you've got an elaborate chandelier and also a sconce on the wall that also kind of has the same vibe as the chandelier, but then just a normal, regular box of tissues. You couldn't find something elaborate to put the tissues in?
Babe, I can send you Amazon links for like ornate gold tissue covers. A plastic trash can. Plastic. Not even with a lid. At least it has a liner in it. I will give props to that.
The trash can next to the boxes definitely has an energy. There's a lot of marble in this bathroom. It kind of looks like it looks like if you go over to your rich friend's house, whose like parents like maybe aren't that rich but want to seem rich, and like this is the bathroom that they tell you to use so that you don't track water in the house if you just got out of the pool. Like that's the energy that this bathroom has. Like boxes, like file boxes included.
I don't remember who said it, but someone said that it gives your semi-rich friends unfinished bathroom in the basement.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they, so, yeah. I mean, honestly, run a scanner over these, like one flood and these are gone,
100%.
Additional file boxes were stowed in the shower behind a flimsy beige curtain from a plastic tension rod. So, the bathroom may have been out of order entirely.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like anybody uses it other than... Also, that's a very low toilet seat. It's almost like Trump is a very short man.
Huh.
Very small man.
Very small man. He needs a squatty potty, though. Get those knees up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
One designer out of Vancouver said that chandeliers are used to create focal points. They bring in a warm, soft aura of light. She tends to use them in foyers and dining rooms. But the one in the bathroom, it's over the top, she says.
Yeah.
They had a epidemiologist from the University of Oklahoma Health and Science Centers in Oklahoma City. They asked him about the implications of having unexpected items in the bathroom in a low-hanging chandelier. What is this? So he asked him whether a large crystal chandelier or stacks of papers containing proof of alien life, and he didn't immediately hang up on me, the journalist says, which was nice. But he said, anytime you flush a toilet, fecal matter can get aerosolized and pretty much go everywhere. Distant corners, door jams, meaning that the boxes of paper are potentially covered in poo particles. So that toilet's ever been flushed. These are now shit papers. That's the only conclusion.
Well, I hope that he goes to jail. Sorry,
well,
not policy, but I do hope he goes to jail. Yeah. He was making copies of these things, which is like things that, if he was from another country, he would be in Guantanamo Bay for. So I sure hope that he keeps honest with all of his campaign promises about how he wanted to put Hillary Clinton in prison for allegedly her emails. He'll get to see the classified information laws that he put into action.
I want to see him go to jail for the lack of hygiene in this situation, amongst other things.
We ever see a large fire at Mar-a-Lago, I think we'll know what happened.
Honestly.
Hey, babes. I gotta know. What are you hoarding?
Okay, I'm hoarding a show on Peacock called...
again, you love Peacock.
Peacock, give me sponsor me, babes. I keep you going. But it's called Based on a True Story. And it is a satire of true crime, but also just LA people, and especially West Side LA people. It's just the story. It's just the story. It's sometimes frustrating.
What's it called? Sorry.
Based on a True Story. So it's Kelly Cuoco. What's her name? Kelly
Cuoco, yeah.
Cuoco. And then Chris Messina, which they cast him as the romantic lead, like her husband. It's just not for me. I never get when he's the romantic lead of something.
I think he's cute.
I think
does he feel like a villain to you?
No, he just feels like an FBI agent. That's not attractive.
Okay.
I don't know. He's like a Bobo John Hamm to me.
Okay.
I know. It's just for me. Anyway, so this couple, the woman is obsessed with true crime, which is, I was like, ooh, this is a little too close. And they realize that they have a serial killer happening in LA, and they're going to turn it into a podcast themselves. And, they're hijinks ensue. But it's very funny. Great satire of people who, obsess over true crime and profit off of it through podcast and YouTube and things like that. But it's also just very much captures a certain LA attitude and lifestyle and makes fun of those people. And I saw myself in that a lot too.
That's sweet.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's like you're the asshole. That's what it kind of was.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. Like when I saw myself, I was like, ooh, those are the parts of myself I don't like.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it truly captures LA in a great way. Very accurate. But yeah, I believe someone, Ebert, said that it can be frustrating at times. And that's true. I agree with that. So yeah. Anyway, I would check out Based on a True Story on Peacock. So what are you hoarding, babe?
Is it weird that I didn't, for some reason in my heart, I thought Roger and Ebert were dead. Is one of them dead?
One of them's dead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'm hoarding Mad Men.
Speaking of John Hamm. Like
the real deal John Hamm. I've seen like up to like season 4, I think, before, and then I stopped. And this was like years ago, probably like not too far away from when, like, I think I stopped because I had binged it. And then I was waiting for a new season to come out. And I was like, I don't have time for this because I'm in my early 20s. Mm-hmm. So I'm rewatching it now. And tell you what, I barely remember a thing. So it's like it's the first time. And thus I am hoarding it and pitching it like it's the first time. It's very good. I don't know. Have you heard of this, Mad Men? It's very good.
One of the premier prestige television dramas of our time. Yeah. I've heard of it.
Girl, it is
Speaking of good. John Hamm, yeah, no, it's really good. There are a couple of moments from that show that just live rent free in my head, just over and over. It's very good, very funny. But somebody, I think you should leave, has a new season out, and some Twitter account is just taking clips from Mad Men and putting the I think you should leave style edit on them.
Oh, funny.
Have you gotten to the riding lawnmower in the office scene yet?
No, I just finished season 1. I just started season 2. So
I don't know what I feel like I'm spoiling anything, but
yeah, don't, because I don't remember anything.
Yeah, but somebody there's a riding lawnmower inside the ad agency office, and somebody took it and did a I think you should leave style comedy and edit to it, and I'll send it to you once you get to that. Message me when you get to that scene.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, funny. No Mad Men spoilers, everybody.
Well, I mean, it's a documentary about the 60s, for God's sake.
I know that this show came out almost 10 years ago, or almost 20 years ago. Excuse me. Yeah, it started in 2007. It's been a long time. So I know it's an old show, but man, it's just good. I do have some beef with it, but I'll get into that with what I'm throwing out.
Okay. You're like, I don't like the way the women are portrayed.
Girl, I'll tell you what, it must be good to be a white man in that time of year, or that time of history. They're just, first of all, look, I'm not, smoking is so bad for you. Do not smoke. It's like literally there's too much evidence out there to prove otherwise. Don't smoke, don't vape, don't do any of it. But it's awesome. Oh.
Smoking indoors, rolling into the office around 10 a.m., having a scotch, having one meeting, a 2.5 hour power lunch with 3 martinis.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of work, leaving the office at 5, smoking indoors the whole time. One of my relatives.
Oh my God.
One of my relatives was told to smoke during her pregnancy so that she would have a smaller baby and it would be easier on her hips. A doctor told her that. I mean, this was a long time ago.
Of course.
Not even in the 90s, like before that. But yeah.
Yeah, they're smoking and drinking while they're pregnant in the show. They try to like really weasel that stuff in so that you realize what time period you're in, but they're just smoking so much. And I'm just like salivating. I'm like, oh God, like I wish I could just live in that time when you didn't, but they did know. Because like the pilot is like about, the Lucky Strike thing and how they can't say that it's safe. But like, I don't know. It just seems lit. It seems awesome.
Do you remember when we were in Barcelona and the night that we had those lavender margaritas?
Yep.
After we'd had like a bottle of wine, we went to Park Yale. I had a bottle of wine, then went and had 3 lavender margaritas. The best margarita I've ever had in my entire life. We bought a pack of cigarettes and smoked them outside. And it was, I don't even know how to inhale. I'm terrible at it. I just look like a dog, like with a cigar in its mouth. I just like puff. But it was like the most glorious feeling I've ever had.
Yeah.
Just keeping cigs outside. I mean, by that, I mean, just like puffing on them, putting them out. Because like
Europe's great.
Yeah, Europe's amazing. Anyway.
What are you throwing out?
Okay. It feels like basic manners. And it feels like I shouldn't have to say this. But not thanking people for their efforts, their work, anything. Just not saying thank you is insane. I am throwing it out. I had a particular moment yesterday where I went above and beyond for someone in a service capacity. And I got okay. And I'm like, okay. That's it? No, that's it? Were you raised in a barn? Like, come on. That was, oh my God, my mom said that all the time growing up. Were you raised in a barn? Shut the door. Were you raised in a barn? And I'm like, basically, we're on a farm.
Basically.
I know we have like a house, but like, come on, we're kind of in a barn.
That's so funny.
That was like her, like, remember your manners. Were you raised in a barn? Anyway,
sure.
What are you throwing away?
Well, I just want to agree with you. People should be appreciative of service. I mean, unless you went so above and beyond that, was them like being like, okay, weirdo. Like, did you do too much?
No, I went above and beyond the scope of my responsibility, but not, I didn't take their shoes off, give them a massage and then clean their bathroom.
Were you working for a tip?
I mean, it's always it's kind, but it's not mandatory
Uh-huh.
or
Yeah.
encouraged
I
even.
gotcha.
I didn't even want the money. It was the thank you.
Sure.
It was the thank you that I did not receive. And I thought about writing them a very frank letter, but that is, just to myself. This is my letter to them
The verbal tip.
is just thank someone. Thank
Yeah.
someone. Okay.
I got it.
Smallest thing you can do. Anyway, what are you throwing away?
So I'm watching Mad Men on
Saying
Freevee.
thank you? That's crazy, Cass.
Oh, I'm watching I'm watching Mad Men on Freevee, which is Amazon's free service that has ads, which I was like, well, it's so weird that this is really the only place that I can get Mad Men. Like, that's crazy. And it is, unless I want to subscribe an extra $8 a month to AMC Plus. So I'm throwing out AMC Plus because for real, $8 a month for what? Like, what do you have? It comes with Shudder and Acorn TV, which, gosh, everyone knows what those are.
Shudder's the horror, Acorn is British, like British shows.
Babe, come on. No one knows what those are. You made that up. $8
You're,
a month.
I'm being paid by Peacock, so I just make up stuff about other streaming services. I'm a disinformation agent for this.
Okay. Mad Men, great. Fear of the Walking Dead, ugh, okay, fine. But I feel like I should be able to watch that on Netflix or something. Kevin can fuck himself. Just put it on Hulu, for fuck's sake. What are you doing? Well, do you want people to watch your stuff or not? Because you're not. This isn't the days of Breaking Bad. If it was the days of Breaking Bad or Mad Men when they came out, or was Sons of Anarchy on AMC or
FX?
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So it's the Mayans, because Kenny Curry loves Sons of Anarchy and Mayans.
I just remember that Sons of Anarchy and Breaking Bad were on at the same time, because I remember I was like a Sons of Anarchy kind of gal, and then there was other people who watched Breaking Bad. They're like, you might want to watch both because, like, no offense, but but Sons of Anarchy is very predictable and Breaking Bad is not. And I was like, okay, like whatever. And then they were like way right about that. But if this was the days of when that was on, have AMC Plus. But you don't have shit right now. Okay. You're holding other old things hostage. And this is what Peacock kind of seemed like it was going to do with like The Office and Friends. But then you're like, oh, damn, they're partnered with Universal. There's actually like quite a lot that they can offer. And they're making a lot of new content. What are you doing, AMC? $8 a month. Go back to the table, come up with some new stuff, and then come and ask me for $8 a month. Fucking Apple TV Plus isn't even that expensive, and they've got great shows. So, just some notes. I'm throwing away Apple TV Plus because I'm not enjoying watching Mad Men with ads. I'm really not. Like, I might get a free 7-day trial of the AMC Plus once I get to the later seasons and just try to binge as fast as I can. But like, I feel like I'm in a position that I don't deserve to be in because I pay for a lot of different streaming services, and I'm not going to add on one more just for this.
Yeah, I get it.
You're crazy.
It's fair. AMC, you have to offer more, but I'll say about Peacock, they have original programming, they have documentaries, they even have extended cuts of the Real Housewives episodes the next day, or Vanderpump Rules the next day, where it gives non-aired episodes or non-aired segments from the episode. So let's say your TV version's a 44, an hour long is a 44-minute of actual content. On Peacock the next day you might get like 52 minutes of cutscenes. So just saying, step up your pussy, AMC Plus. Peacock's got your goat. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Cass, where can they find you?
You can find me on, I guess, try my Instagram at Cass Cardenas, but you have to request me and you have to message me and let me know I'm a trashy listener, or I'm not gonna like approve you. So I don't know if that is like even a great place to find me, but that is definitely a place to find me. You're also welcome to I think that there's a couple places where this is streaming. Why don't you go and watch the Olivia Munn starring movie Violet? I'm in that. You can find me there.
Absolutely.
Came out a couple years ago.
She's great in it though. What streaming service is it on?
Bitch, I don't know. If I find out, if I'm Googling this and it's on AMC Plus, I'm gonna scream. Okay, you can get it.
The irony.
You can watch it on Paramount Plus.
Sounds great.
It's 5.9 out of 10 from IMDb, but Rotten Tomatoes gave it 82%, and Rotten Tomatoes gave Mad Men about 97%, so it's pretty close. It's almost just as good. Yeah. Where can people find you?
At Iconic Erica Curry on Instagram and TikTok. You can find this podcast at Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. That's our handle, Trashy Trashy Pod. You can always find us at our website, which is www.trashytrashypodcast.com. That has links out to all of our social media and any platform that you could listen to us. It also has a link to our merch store. That's trashytrashypodcast.threadless.com. Daddy, this comes out on Monday. Get Dad a shirt, but for Father's Day yesterday. And, give one to the trash daddy in your life. You can also sign up to support this podcast, help us with hosting fees on anchor.fm/trashy/support. All of these links will always be in our show notes. And the most way you can support us is by leaving a 5-star review in the store of Spotify or the Apple Podcast, or telling a friend. That is the way that we spread the most. We appreciate you all for listening. And, we're happy to be your number one source for trashy news. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, but Peacock is really good documentaries, and sometimes they're actually kind of bad. They paid Casey Anthony, but
Erica, please. We get it.